Welcome back. This is the second lecture on distribution. I'm Marin, and today we will talk about retailing. This topic belongs to distribution because we are going to talk about a particular intermediary. The intermediary that is in contact with the final consumer that is buying the product for personal or family use. In this lecture, I will describe the economic environment, demographics, technology, and globalization as drivers of change in retailing. I will define services and intangibles and key characteristics that make them different from goods. And finally, I define the dimensions consumers and business consumers use to evaluate service quality. Let's start. Remember the microenvironment of marketing? I hope you do. We will see how economic environment, technology, globalization, and changing demographics motivate retailers to reinvent the way they do business. The 2008-2009 economic downturn created the need for consumers to save money and spend less. Therefore, low-price retailers have seen an increase in the last decade. Retailers need to assume that their customer base is a different type of customer. An important change is that now, more than in the past, time is becoming a scarce resource. So as more time-conscious consumers, especially women, are involved in the workforce, they demand greater convenience. With these changes in consumer preferences, and as a way for in-store retailers to differentiate from e-commerce, more retailers have developed creative ways to attract customers to their stores. Timberland, the outdoor lifestyle manufacturer of clothing and shoes, has designed its stores to resemble a gallery that will change every 6 weeks to completely new concepts. This example here shows the theme Strilology, which highlights versatile styles defined to take on serious streets. Another example is the Fifth Avenue store, in which the company brings nature to the city for customers to experience the outdoors heritage of the company. There are also stores like Five Below, where teenagers can go and hang out with other friends while doing some shopping. This is called experiential merchandising, a tactic whose intent is to convert shopping from a passive activity into a more interactive one by better engaging the customer. Technology is revolutionizing retailing. Instead of a multi-channel strategy in which the customer interacted independently with different channels, demanding more effort of the customer, now retailing is becoming an activity that coordinates different channels for the customer. For instance, retailers talk about omni-channel marketing, which is a retailing strategy that provides a seamless shopping experience where the customer is at the center and she or he can shop online from a computer or a mobile device, by social media, or in a physical store. And all of these mediums are interconnected in such a way that the customer can use either one without much effort. Another important driver of change in retailing is globalization. We have retailers such as Walmart that as of 2012 was in different countries such as Japan, China, Argentina, and Mexico, among others. So busy retailers are expanding to other countries and bringing with them innovations and new management practices. You learned that service and retailing go hand in hand. This is why it's important to talk more about services. When you look in internet, the meaning of services, you will find that service as a noun refers to the action of helping or doing work for someone. It's important to understand that different products have a combination of a tangible offering and an intangible part. For instance, we have in the extreme of this combination situations when you buy salt, a product that has a high tangible component but not so much intangible. This is why you don't expect to find a huge service component when you buy salt. In the middle, we have a restaurant where you have a part tangible with food, drinks, and another part intangible with the atmosphere, the service of the host, and the waiter. In the other extreme, we have teaching, with the majority of the offering being intangible. Services come in many forms, from those done to you, such as a massage or teeth cleaning, to those done to something you own, such as having your house painted or your computer fixed. All services, however, share 4 key characteristics: intangibility, perishability, variability, and inseparability. Technically speaking, you can't see, touch, or smell a service. This refers to intangibility characteristics. Services can be stored for later sale or consumption, and instead must be used at the time they are available. This is called perishability. For instance, there are so many appointment periods in a doctor's day. An empty slot at 8 a.m. cannot be saved and used later. As we saw in pricing, this aspect affects pricing strategies when selling services. Has it happened to you that the same hairdresser cannot cut your hair in the same way the times you go to visit him? Well, this is called variability. Even the same service performed by the same person will vary when delivered on different days or at different times. Lack of standardization is often perceived as a problem in services. Because the haircut needs to be done while you receive it, production and consumption of services cannot be separated. Services might be experienced to be used. This is called inseparability. It is difficult to detach the expertise, skill, and personality of a provider from the firm's employees, especially when services are delivered by people. These 4 characteristics make quality measurement of a service a challenge when you provide and measure quality of services. Luckily, there have been efforts to find ways to assess service quality. There is one in particular that is being useful. It has 5 dimensions with the following acronym so you cannot forget them. RATER. R for reliability, A for assurance, T for tangibility, E for empathy, and R for responsiveness. Reliability means the ability to perform the promised service dependably and accurately. For instance, if we are assessing the service of an airline, customers might ask, is my flight on time? Assurance means knowledge and courtesy of employees and their ability to convey trust and confidence. In our airline example, assurance refers to, for instance, are the ticket counter attendants, flight attendants, and pilots knowledgeable about their jobs? Tangibility means the appearance of physical facilities, equipment, personnel, and communication materials. In our airline, this means, are the gate, plane, and baggage area clean? Empathy means caring and individualized attention provided to customers. Do employees in the airline care for my special situation in this flight? Do they care about my special seating, meal, or perhaps rebooking needs? And finally, responsiveness means the willingness to help customers and provide prompt service. Are the flight attendants willing to answer my questions? With these 5 dimensions, customers can rate services and they can also perform a gap analysis. Gap analysis is a measurement tool that gauges the difference between a customer's expectation of service quality and what actually occurs. It is very useful because organizations can identify specific places in the service system where there is a wide gap between what is expected and what is received. In this way, service marketers have directions on what needs improvement. So in summary, we have talked about changes that economic, technology, demographics, and globalization have created in the retailing industry. We also have talked about services and its 4 key characteristics. And finally, we talk about how we can assess service quality. Please keep reading and learning about these topics because there is much more to understand retailing. Thank you for watching.